a crowd, what a crowd. You see what's going on in the road all the way up here. We have people all the way up. I'll tell you. It was never like that for the last administration, they tell me. You know, I'll ask the guys that happened to be with me. They were with the last one, too. They don't say much. I said, was it like that? They said, sir, nothing was like that. Nothing. It was never like that. And they've got the Trump signs and the flags and the American flags all over the place. Right? All those American flags. Thank you very much. Hello, Carson City. Hello. It's great to be back in Nevada with the thousands of loyal, hard-working American patriots. Great people. Can you believe it? 16 days. 16 days. And you know what? 16 days from now, we're going to win the state of Nevada. We're going to win 4 more years in the White House. And we're going to keep it going. Early voting is underway, so get out and vote. And they're getting a little worried because certain areas, you know, we know we're going to have a big red wave. We're going to have a tremendous, they know it. These fakers back there, they know it. They know it. All you have to do is look at this crowd. When did we set this up? Like 2 days ago? We'll be in Carson City in about 2 days. Did the people come out like crazy? And the people on the road, thousands and thousands, because they couldn't get in. It's pretty sad when you take an airport and it's not big enough, right? Sir, we have a problem. We have an airport. It's not big enough. But you know what's happening? So we have the big red wave is going to happen. And that's going to happen on November 3rd and a little before for the voting. But you can get out now, right, Michael? They can get out now and they can vote. But you know, strange things are happening in North Carolina. A lot of people are out there voting. You know, those lines are miles long. They're miles long. And they're wearing a lot of red caps. They're wearing caps, and they're wearing badges, and they're wearing those beautiful shirts. A lot of them, they love our country. They work so hard, but they weren't into voting for a long time. Then about 4 years ago, they went out, and now they're out, and I think even more so. There's even more enthusiasm now than we had 4 years ago. Actually, it's hard to believe, and I'll say it for the fake news, by a lot. So, like, I'll give you an example. Michigan. In Michigan, we're supposed to be probably 80-20 with us on the back, but we're going to catch them. You know, everyone's expecting we're going to do well. We should with all the auto plants being built in Michigan. Hadn't been built for 42 years, and now they're building them all over the place. They're building a lot of jobs. They had the best year they ever had. Michigan had the best year. They have a governor that's got it locked down, but now we forced it to open up. They ruled unconstitutional what she's doing. But here's what's happening. So in Michigan, it was supposed to be, you know, they were going to take the big lead, then we were like a racehorse, then we were going to catch them with a big red wave, because our people like to go and vote, you know? They like to go and vote. But something strange is happening in Michigan. It's happening in other places too, but it's happening in Michigan because we're not at 20%. We're leading in the early vote. And that's never happened. That's never happened before for the Republicans. It doesn't work that way. Now, in all fairness, until I won Michigan 4 years ago, Michigan hadn't been won in decades, many decades, by a Republican. But we won it, and now we should win it by even more, because everything I said that would happen happened. All the plants, all the good economy and everything, until the China virus came in, the plague from China. But now we're, and how do I look, okay? Do I look okay? Now, we can do things today that we couldn't do. We can do things today we couldn't do 7 months ago when we got hit with this thing. The whole world got hit with it. They should have kept it in. They could have kept it in. They protected their country, but they didn't protect the world or us, Europe. And we will never forget. We will never forget. We had just signed an incredible trade deal. The ink wasn't dry, and then we got hit by the plague. But we will not forget. But you know, we were doing numbers like the likes of which we've never done before. 160 million people employed. You had the best year you ever had. But almost all states, I can say it, I don't have to do a lot of research. Almost every state was having the best year they ever had. And then we closed it up and we saved over 2 million lives by doing what we did. You know, they don't like to say that. We did a great job. But we're now doing the vaccines. They're coming out very soon, very strong. Great companies, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, a lot of Moderna, great companies, a lot more than that. But they also have a lot of other things. And I would, you know, they call them therapeutics. For me, it was a cure. I mean, what's the difference? I said, give me a definition. Because I wasn't feeling exactly, I wasn't like, oh, gee, I feel great. Okay? I hate to admit I didn't feel, you know, I haven't been somebody that's had a lot of problems with that stuff. So I hate to admit it, but you know what? I was not feeling great. Does that make sense to you? I wasn't exactly feeling the best. But the great thing is when you're president, you have so many doctors. I was saying to a group this morning, I said, I had 12 doctors around the bed, and everyone was grabbing a different part of my body. I did not like it. And they're all super geniuses. But I was not feeling good, and then they gave me this Regeneron, which is an antibody, and great company, great company, tremendous success with cures, vaccines, other things. And they actually came up with the Ebola drug, which saved so many lives. They came up with a lot of good stuff, and the other ones too, but this was one I liked because it just seemed to have a very good record, but it was brand new, hadn't been tested, hadn't been approved or anything. By the way, we're approving it for everybody that needs it, free of charge, because it wasn't your fault, okay? And Eli Lilly makes a drug based on the same concept. Eli Lilly, great company from Indiana, great state. Great state because I won it by a lot. You know, every state that I win by a lot or win by a little, we're happy with. And by the way, we're leading, you know, in the state of Nevada. You better get out of here. We're leading. Why wouldn't we be? But anyway, I took this drug. I wasn't feeling good. It's a transfusion, as they say. Like 1 hour. And the next day, I felt like Superman. I got up, I said, what the hell is going on? Whoa. I felt like Superman. I said, come on, bring him on, whoever it is. No, I felt good, and I could have left. I wanted to leave the hospital then. They said, sir, could we have a couple of more days, please? But these doctors are great. I love you, too. I love you, too. Thank you. Thank you, honey. Appreciate it. Thank you. But these doctors are great, and we can do things today. 7 months ago was unheard of, really. The whole antibody thing was you know, what they've done is incredible. With the therapeutics and all of the vaccines that you're going to see coming on board right now. So, you know, I say you get out there and things are opening up. Tell your governor to open up. Tell everybody to open up. I told Michigan. You know, Michigan, we sued. And they found her. It was unconstitutional. The only person that her state was opened up for was her husband. He was allowed to go and sail his boat, do whatever the hell he wanted to, but nobody else could do anything. They were like locked in a prison. And it's very bad. You know, that causes a lot of problems. That causes, with the alcohol and drugs and depression and suicide, believe it or not. And the cure cannot be worse than the problem itself. So it can't be, right? It can't be. So if you vote for me, and you know what's going to happen. Let me change it. When you vote for me, So we have a lot of people here. Is there anybody that's going to vote for Sleepy Joe in this crowd? Please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. Not too many. Not too many. Sleepy Joe. I can't even believe it. He should have never even gotten a nomination. You know, it was Bernie's nomination until Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, split up the vote. But let's change it. When you vote for me, prosperity will surge. Your taxes will be cut even further. You know, I gave you the biggest tax cut in the history of our country. The pandemic is rounding the turn. It's rounding, and we have the vaccines coming, and they go crazy, the fake news. But I will tell you, it's rounding the turn with or without. It's rounding the turn. You'll see that. Normal life. That's all we want. We want normal life, right? We want normal. We want to be where we were 7 months ago, right? We'll fully resume the Nevada tourism and hospitality industry, which is fantastic. Will come roaring back, and it will. And next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country for everybody. Unless somebody like Sleepy Joe Biden wants to substantially increase your taxes and your regulations. You know, we cut your regulations. It used to take up to 21 years to get a highway approved. Can you believe it? 21 years. You ever see the big charts where it showed you have to go here, 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 then back? And take years and years. It could be 21 years, and then they get, none of that, 21 years, and then they disapprove it, okay? You know, how would you like to have that job? After 21 years, you're going for a vote. And then you lose 3-2, and that's the end of that. So a big portion of your life was trying to get something approved. And we have it down to 2 years. I think I'll have it down to 1 year. And it may be disapproved. If it's environmentally not good, if it's unsafe, it may be, but it's going to be 1 year, 2 years, and most likely it will be approved, and it will get done. He wants to terminate our newfound energy independence, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to end fracking. You know, do you ever see this guy? For a year and a half, there will be no fracking, no fracking, no fracking. Then he goes to a great place, Pennsylvania, and they say, by the way, we have 1 million jobs for fracking. Oh, we will have fracking. We will have. And the fake news doesn't even talk to him about it. They don't ask him, like, well, how come for a year and a half you said there's no fracking? And then as soon as you get the nomination, you say, there's fracking. Remember Hillary? She said, no call, no clean call, no call, forget it. Then 3 weeks later, she had to go to, no, him up, you mean him up, because you see what's happening with Biden? He is a corrupt politician. But did you see Hillary? And then she goes to West Virginia, and she said, oh, well, actually, I like coal, but it was a little bit too late. It was a little bit too late. She got record low numbers. West Virginia, great place. They don't like it when somebody says, you can't dig coal. That was not good. But Biden wants to launch a socialist takeover of health care to cut our military budget, and he wants to cut it right to the bone. Well, the Democrats do not like our military. They always, you know, traditionally, we have built the greatest military any time that we've ever had anywhere in the world. If you vote for Biden, he will surrender your jobs to China. He will surrender your future to the virus. He's going to lock down. This guy wants to lock down. He'll listen to the scientists. If I listened totally to the scientists, we would right now have a country that would be in a massive depression. Instead of, we're like a rocket ship. Take a look at the numbers. And that's despite the fact that we have like 5 or 6 of these Democrats keeping their states closed because they're trying to hurt us on November 3rd. But the numbers are so good anyway. They'd be even better. But New York should be open. Michigan now has to open because of the court case. North Carolina should be open. They should be open. You guys, you want to open? Yeah, you want to open. Pennsylvania has to open. I mean, you know, we have places, and sometimes they're open, but they're partially open. They're not open like they should be. Get the places open. Let's go. Let's go. But he'll surrender your country to the radical socialist left. You see that happening. This election is a choice between a Trump super recovery, which we're in right now, or a Biden depression. You will have a depression. First of all, your taxes are going to be quadrupled. You will have a depression, the likes of which we have not seen since 1929. That's what's going to happen. And I'm very good at those things. You will have one of the great depressions of all time. Your taxes are going to go up. Your regulations are going to go up. Everybody's going to be leaving our country. All those jobs and companies that I brought in, they're all going back to where they came from. All he wants to do is raise it. Even in the companies, who wants to raise it for the companies so they go back to another location? They came because we cut taxes. Now he wants to raise their taxes. They will leave. It's very simple. You know, it's one of those things. It's a choice between strong borders or no borders, between supporting the police or defunding the police, between delivering a vaccine in record time to kill the virus or a Biden shutdown to kill the economy. On November 3rd, vote for jobs, safety, lower taxes, a secure Second Amendment, and freedom. Right? There's a lot of people here. Look at that. Wow. It's a lot of people. I wish the cameras would show it. They never show it, right? They never show it. They show me. And you know what happens over my shoulders? About 3 or 4 people. 3 or 4. They're always complaining, oh, I don't see masks. I mean, there's a lot of masks on. A lot of masks. Now, they're corrupt people, but Joe Biden is from a failed and corrupt political class that enriched itself while draining